I always thought that mind control was something from the movies. So when the ex-Jehovah's Witnesses began explaining how their minds had been manipulated and controlled by specific techniques, I was in shock and amazement. At first, I resisted, but then I felt peace, knowing that this information came as a result of my sincere prayers. Slowly, it all started to make sense. This is how they do it. Here is an official Jehovah's Witness video made to teach gospel principles to their children.
Barlock, attack! Oh no, it's Sparlock!
Caleb!
Look at Sparlock's magic key!
Caleb, what toy is that?
It's Sparlock, the warrior wizard!
Whoa, a warrior wizard.
Yeah, my friend gave it to me. All the kids are going to see the movie. Can I see it too?
Oh, your friend gave this to you. You look pretty excited about this. Why don't you come over here and get your snack, okay? Is this toy magical?
Mm-hmm.
Caleb, who likes magic? Jehovah or Satan?
Satan.
Right. Magic is bad. That's why Jehovah hates it. Do you really want to play with something that Jehovah hates? Do you remember who we learned about at family worship? Who is this?
Adam and Eve.
Right. Did they obey Jehovah?
No, they disobeyed Jehovah. And he got very sad.
So what if you disobey Jehovah and play with toys he doesn't like? Do you think Jehovah will be happy or sad?
Sad.
Yeah. Do you want Jehovah to be sad?
No! I don't want Jehovah to be sad with me.
No, I don't want Jehovah to be sad with you either. So what do you think you should do with this toy?
I think most of us could see that the parent used fear to manipulate young Caleb. However, when I spoke with former Jehovah's Witnesses, they pointed out many other factors that I was not aware of. They described various techniques that were well established in psychology by prominent researchers such as Leon Fessinger of MIT and Robert J. Lifton of Harvard University. Steve Hassan, one of America's most prominent mind control experts, condensed these techniques into what he calls the bite model.
Hassan was a follower of Moon's controversial church for 2.5 years until he left after an intervention in 1976. And when he heard about another tragedy, the 900 people who lost their lives in Jonestown, Guyana, he decided to try to save others by writing a book.
In his book, Releasing the Bonds, he shows how certain political, religious, and commercial groups use the bite model to control the minds of their members.
Steve, what's going on here?
People can be systematically broken down, indoctrinated through controlling information, controlling their behavior, controlling their thoughts, controlling their emotions, and made into obedient, dependent slaves.
This is how the bite model of mind control works. To control someone's behavior, all you need to do is control their thoughts and emotions. To control someone's thoughts, you need to affect their emotions and behavior. To control someone's emotions, you need to control their behavior and thoughts. Thoughts and emotions can be controlled by controlling the information made available to the mind. The reason this entire system works is because of cognitive dissonance. The mind likes all three areas to be in harmony. When emotions are out of alignment with thoughts, or when behavior is out of alignment with feelings, or when thoughts don't align with actions, psychological tension builds up, and if the tension is high enough, it will cause the mind to shift towards a more harmonious alignment. In Caleb's case, we see the tension building between enjoying his new toy and obeying Jehovah. New information is supplied by his mother controlling Caleb's thoughts and emotions until he finally caves in and changes his behavior. He throws out his enjoyable toy to please his perception of Jehovah. It is at this critical point that Caleb's mind is completely changed by the information. Let's take a closer look at each component of the bite model. First, behavior control. Behavioral change is one of the most powerful components to mind control, because once Caleb's behavior aligns with his religion, his mind must make an unconscious choice. Either his actions pleased Jehovah, or they did not. If his actions did not please Jehovah, then he is left with the uncomfortable feeling of throwing out his favorite toy for no reason. On the other hand, there is less tension if he simply focuses on the happy feeling that his actions were in harmony with his God. If he takes the easy path to justify the pain of losing his toy, then his unconscious mind will generate belief in a God that does not like magical toys. This version of God becomes real to Caleb. His religion has successfully taken control of a part of his mind. This is how it works, step by step, piece by piece.
This is what Jehovah wants you to do. That's why you should always listen to Mom and Daddy.
How will this affect his behavior, feelings, and thoughts for the rest of his life? When Caleb sees other kids at the playground playing with magical toys, how will he view those kids? How does his new belief separate him from society and make it easier to judge outsiders as evil? While it may seem irrational to demonize magical toys, or prevent members from voting, or prevent children from receiving proper blood transfusions, these arbitrary rules, along with many others, serve an important role for the witnesses. Not only do they enforce behaviors that strengthen their belief in the Watchtower organization, but they also cause enough societal differences and tension to separate the members from the world and increase reliance on the group. This leads to information control.
Any worldly association at all. I mean, just at school, and even then I was like just the odd kid that I wasn't really allowed to talk to anyone, you know?
They will often label outsiders as evil or worldly, which creates further distrust and separation from the outsiders. The more the organization teaches the witnesses to distrust outside sources of information and rely on internal sources, the more they are able to control the information entering the minds of the members.
The more they can limit any contact between those who have left the organization and those who are in the organization, the better the chance that nobody within will learn the truth.
We apostates are dangerous to them because we see through all of this manipulation. They control the information. They bombard you with literature, with meeting attendance, assemblies, etc. They speak for Jehovah. They're equal to Jehovah. You can only get to Jehovah through them. So it keeps you enslaved to whatever they say.
Essential to all of this is thought control. Our thoughts are made up of associations and words. So a powerful way to control someone's thoughts is by redefining the meaning of their words. Initially, new members are often concerned that they cannot understand all the words used at the Kingdom Hall. For example, the Jehovah's Witnesses have redefined the truth to mean the Watchtower organization. While it looks harmless on the surface, altering the meaning of words can overflow into other areas of life, controlling a vast array of thoughts. For example, if a Jehovah's Witness thinks the Watchtower organization is not true, he may feel confused without knowing why. This happens because his thoughts are actually saying, the truth is not true. The effect is heightened by the fact that there are literally hundreds of redefined words in the Jehovah's Witness vocabulary. All of these words gain more power through repetition in Kingdom Hall meetings, prayers, conventions, magazines, handouts, lectures, books, and social activities with other members. The accumulative effect distorts the natural thinking process adds bias and makes it more difficult to leave or think critically of the Watchtower organization. As this information began to sink in, I asked myself a difficult question. If I had been raised in the Jehovah's Witness religion, would I be emotionally strong enough to resist their style of indoctrination and mind control? How would I find the truth? One logical way to find out if the group is legitimate is to use independent thinking skills and critically question everything its current and past leaders taught. But they had this covered too. Jehovah's Witnesses are not allowed to critically question the leaders, nor are they allowed to think independently. Another important aspect of mind control is controlling the emotions. This can be done by instilling phobias, such as a fear of losing family, or a fear of apostates.
But we never looked at any apostate information for a long time, because that is like a huge no-no. And YouTube's full of quote-unquote apostate videos, and I was so afraid of them, like, whoa, this is so bad. But when you think about it, if it's the truth, then that's not gonna matter, you know? But I was afraid that the devil was controlling them, and that's how they have this bad information that'll get you.
Listen to how the Jehovah's Witness leaders instill phobias towards people who have left their organization, some of which may have joined the Latter-day Saints. This is from their 2013 district convention.
Like Satan, human apostates are unruly men who cook up wicked reasonings and season their brew with poisonous lies that deceive minds. Apostates are mentally diseased, and they try to infect others with their disloyal teaching. So avoiding apostates means that we will not allow them into our homes by reading their literature, watching TV programs that feature them, examining their websites, or adding our comments to their blogs. Apostates are not sincere in their expressions. Their aim is to manipulate your mind and undermine your faith. They are liars and deceivers, bent on destroying your relationship with Jehovah God and His Son Christ Jesus.
My son, when we tell you to do something, it's because we love you. We want the best for you.
Another powerful emotion is love. If an organization can exploit the love we have for those dearest to our hearts, they can manipulate us into compliance.
What this shunning does is causes the members to now accept any tenet that the Watchtower Society mandates without question. Why? Because they'll lose their family and friends. That's how mind control works.
When all these techniques are used together, the end result is the mind becomes obedient to group authority and becomes less able to think rationally or act independently. At the time, I said to myself, if the LDS Church is using any similar techniques at all, they are probably being used for righteous purposes. After learning about these techniques from the Jehovah's Witnesses, I noticed a slight shift in my awareness. I no longer felt any fear towards reading apostate literature. Such fear would only be necessary if I were in a false organization that was trying to plant phobias to prevent me from learning the truth. If I were in the true church, there was nothing to fear, nothing to hide. I will put the knowledge of mind control in the opposing model, because it is an essential part of avoiding deception and a prerequisite for finding the truth. But little did I know that liberating knowledge would soon change the course of my life forever.